Starting us off at number 10 is The Thief. So this was shared by someone whose mum worked as a manager at Walmart. One day she came home proper surprised, and obviously the kid asked what happened that day. That day at work, a woman was caught trying to steal one of the prepaid phones on display. Now when the security guard caught her, she pulled out the knife she'd been using to open up the phone's packaging to cut him open. But before doing that, she cut herself first and then screamed about how she had AIDS and now how the guard had AIDS as well, all because he was trying to stop her from taking the phone. The story is honestly all over the place. I don't even know what to say to you guys. I swear the first rule they teach you in retail is never chase or try and apprehend anyone that's trying to steal, but they also never ended that sentence with because the thief may give you AIDS, but maybe they should start doing that. I've never chased someone that stole something from the store I worked at. Like, off you go.
Indian exorcism comes onto this list at number 9. In one of the most prestigious Hindu temples in India, well, there is a locked room that holds some of the most tormented people in India. It's called the Cave of Spirits, and it is known as the last hope for people who are possessed by a demon. Several girls in a nearby village have become possessed by an unknown spirit. The families tried everything to get rid of the demon, but nothing worked. So they attempted to perform an exorcism in the temple.
One by one, the girls break down.
When the spirit comes forth, the girl loses all control over her body.
The exorcism appeared to be successful.
Mooney will leave, but the spirit that tormented her will remain here forever.
Sleep possession takes us to number 8. A young guy who has had trouble sleeping decided to record himself with a CCTV camera that detects movement and audio. For me, I never want to do this. I never ever feel the urge to record myself sleeping, just in case I actually do see something. Like, I don't want to freak myself out where I can never sleep again. Well, this guy, he wanted to see if there's anything unusual that was causing him to wake up in the middle of the night. But once he reviewed the footage, he wasn't relieved at all. Well, let's take a look at what happened. Let's take a look at what he saw. Yeah, this is exactly why I don't ever want to record myself sleeping. I don't want to know what weird things are lurking in my room or if I'm being possessed by a sleep demon. Sometimes I have a hard time sleeping, and by sometimes I mean all the time, or I wake up tired, but I'm definitely not going to investigate why. I don't want to know that I've been possessed by like Freddy Krueger or something. Number 7, we have the exorcism of Annalisa Michael. When she was 16 years old, Annalise suffered from a major seizure and was diagnosed with temporal lobe epilepsy. She was prescribed a medication, but that didn't stop her seizures. Annalise said that she kept seeing devil faces throughout the day, and she was even complaining of depression and hearing voices. The voices told her that she would rot in hell and that she was cursed. So her family began to believe that she was possessed by a demon, and they called a priest to perform an exorcism. That's when things got out of hand. Here is some audio taken from the exorcism. Unfortunately for Annalise, she was found dead in her home, and an autopsy stated that the cause of death was malnutrition and dehydration. So during the exorcism, her priest and her family failed to keep her alive, and at the end of it, she only weighed 68 pounds. And it's not even clear if she was actually possessed or not. She could have just had an untreated schizophrenia. Subway possession drives us to number 6.
Oh my god.
Is this real life right now? I mean, good luck sleeping tonight. I don't even know what just happened. Apparently this footage was filmed in a subway station in San Francisco. Someone get that woman a Snickers. But all jokes aside, I really hope that people filming this called the police or told the authorities at the subway station, because she looks like she could seriously hurt herself. I think that she isn't possessed by a violent demon, then she must have snorted some like flakka, because I don't know what else this could be. I'm pretty scared from this, so let's move on. And what the heck is flakka? Who's naming these things? Pope Francis' exorcism blesses us at number 5. This footage was filmed at St. Peter's Square in Italy, and it's of Pope Francis apparently performing an exorcism. The priest that is behind the young man whispered something to the Pope, which caused him to recite an intense prayer. During the prayer, the man's mouth opens wide and he is exhaling sharply. The Vatican downplayed the incident, and they are claiming that Pope Francis just recited a prayer, but lots of people think that he performed a quick exorcism. What do you guys think? And at number 4, we have a possessed woman on a train. What is with all these possessed people riding public transportation? This is exactly why I got my license and drive a car. I'm officially freaked out. This possessed woman was filmed on a train that was in Alberta, Canada. After she looked at her cell phone, she started to act really weird, and she suddenly attacked another passenger who was sitting beside her.
Whoa. Whoa, chill.
She grabbed the man's throat and punched him with her other arm. So yeah, she was either possessed by a demon, or this is the direct result of using some drugs. Or this is the direct result of using drugs. I'll let you guys be the judge. Convenience store possession checks us into number 3. This footage is brought to us by a security camera in a convenience store. As you can see, the video was of a normal guy who just wanted to buy a drink, but then all of a sudden he began to violently shake and make strange noises. Someone needs to call a priest, because if it's not a demon, then I'm gonna guess he's going through some like Red Bull withdrawals. If we fast forward the clip to the end, the man passes out on the floor and a dark shadow appears to move in the reflection of the refrigerator door. Watch. A bloody demonic possession takes us to number 2.
Você não é poderoso. Jesus, Deus está aqui. Deus é maior do que tudo.
I literally have no idea how I'm going to sleep tonight. This video is pretty messed up. The person using their phone to film him, instead of calling 911, should probably be arrested. He is clearly injured and no one is helping him. Apparently the guy has a gun wound to the face, but I think tomorrow he is going to have an extreme backache. But no, seriously, how the hell is he moving around with his back like that? This poor guy is in serious need of an exorcism, a doctor, a chiropractor. Get him something. Pope Francis, where you at? Finally, number 1 spot, we have a really scary possession. I'm about to show you a tape that was recorded back in 1973. This footage was found in the attic of a home by the new owners, and what was found was very disturbing. Okay, what the hell was up with that creepy ass laugh? That will literally haunt me for the rest of my life. I don't think I'll ever be able to sleep again. I think we should all start a support group, because there's no way I'll ever be able to get over this. So the support group will be for me and for you guys watching this as well. And as always, if you guys want to watch the entire clip, I'll make sure to link it in the description below, but don't say I didn't warn you. Well, there you guys have it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys all in the next most amazing top 10 video.
Starting off this countdown, we have Donald Harvey, aka the Angel of Death. Donald Harvey is a nurse turned serial killer. So he was working in a hospital as a nurse and was secretly killing off his patients. To him, he was doing them a favor. He thought that his chronically ill patients needed a relief from the pain, so he would smother them with pillows, or would poison them, or let their oxygen tanks run out. It's believed that he took the lives of over 70 people. However, in 1987, he was only convicted for 37 counts of murder. He was sentenced to life plus 20 years. In March of 2017, Harvey was beat up badly by a fellow inmate. He passed away shortly after.
Coming in at number 9 is asphyxiation. I honestly have no idea what is happening in this picture, but the mum of this child is pushing the car while her daughter is sitting in the child's seat part of the trolley, which is normal, that's all good, except for the fact the kid has a plastic bag over her head. Like, I'm sorry? The mum put that over her head, or did she do it herself? If it's the former, someone call CPS, and if it's the latter, why is the mum not doing anything? Again, call CPS. When I was young, I remember seeing so many movies where someone would be getting tortured or interrogated, and asphyxiation with a plastic bag is how they'd kill the person. So I feel like if I saw this in real life at a Walmart, I'd actually intervene and be like, what is going on? What is you doing? That is not okay. At number 8, we have piss. It's a Walmart video, you guys. I'm gonna make the titles as ratchet as the store itself. Deal with it. Sue me. So this story came from a former employee who shared that one day a woman came in, bought a bottle of perfume, and then went to the bathroom. And give me a minute, because I don't even want to imagine the breeding cesspool of filth that would be a Walmart bathroom, so you already know she's going to be doing some whack in there. Turns out she was. She poured the perfume into her own bottle that she brought and then filled the actual perfume bottle by pissing in it. And that's not even the worst part. She then had the nerve and audacity to try and return this perfume bottle full of her own piss. The employee in question happened to be working cash that day and was like, okay, this is clearly a bottle of piss, and then called their manager, and the manager had clearly had enough and was just like, just process the return, just do it, don't ask questions. The bottle was evidently still warm from how fresh the urine was. Like, what kind of psycho does that? I would not, if I was working cash, you bet your ass I'm not processing your piss as a return. I'm not refunding you for that. Or I hope she at least dried the bottle. I don't want to be touching your piss. Filling on number 7 slot is the big baby. So this picture was shared on People of Walmart back in 2009, and it appears to be an old man dressed as a big baby. He's equipped with a baby bag, a diaper, pacifier, outfit, and all. And it has no context whatsoever, so I don't know if he was just dressed like that for fun, or if he perhaps has Peter Pan syndrome. Now PPS is when someone either does not want to grow up or they're unable to do so the person ends up being an adult with the mind of a child. So if it's the latter, I don't want to say anything because it's not that person's fault they're suffering, but if he just came there dressed like that to creep people out, it 100% worked. I would walk in the complete opposite direction of this dude and not even make eye contact, to be honest. Now at number 6 is the goat. This one made me laugh so hard because I genuinely had no idea what I was looking at before I opened up the picture. I was like, is that E.T.? Is that some kind of alien? Like, what is that creature? Someone just tell me. Anyway, when I opened it up, I realized this woman was carrying a goat in a baby carrier strapped to her back. And what sent me about this one was how the goat's legs are like this around the woman's back, and then she's wearing a jumper, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, did the woman never have a kid and so it was just compensating by carrying around this goat? Where's the goat's real mom, and is she in distress because her baby isn't with her? If I saw this, I would legit be on my way straight out of the store like, nah, that's not happening. That's not me. We're not doing that. It was a cute goat though, I'm not gonna lie. Coming in at number 5 is the Walmart killer. This was shared by Reddit user Sonic Underground, who said on their first day working at Walmart, a customer was in the fan aisle, so the user decided to go help him out. You know, when you're a first day employee, or bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, not knowing retail will suck your soul out. Either way, the man was holding 2 box fans, not knowing which one to buy, so he proceeds to ask the user. The user then asks him what size he's looking for what room, and so forth, and at the end makes a very sound recommendation. The customer then shouts sucker at the user, slaps the recommended fan out of their hand, and then runs to the cashier with the other one. I feel like clearly no one cares about this employee's opinion. Dumbfounded, the user was like, what the hell just happened to me? And their co-workers joined the user in the aisle laughing, saying that that customer was a regular and he was insane, and also convinced Walmart was trying to kill him. So to try and beat this company's attempts, he would ask the staff what he should buy and then go against their recommendation because it was clearly booby-trapped. That's all I'm gonna say. At number 4 is the girl. Now again, I'm gonna preface this with the fact I don't kink shame anyone. However, I would have been very troubled by the sight of this, I'm not gonna lie. Shared by Redditor BB Rodriguez, who is an overnight stalker at a Florida Walmart, she shared that once a really pretty girl came in wearing this leather bondage lingerie looking outfit. And I mean, that's fine, BDSM is so common, however, she was was on a dog leash on all fours being walked by 3 older Caucasian men who looked to be meth heads. She was barking all over the store and employees asked her several times if she needed help, but all she did was bark back at them. The men then paraded her around the store for an hour before buying her a chew toy and leaving. Mind you, it was 3 bloody AM on a Tuesday. Like, was this girl in her right mind? But I can't even go into this, we're a PG channel. I get roleplay and staying in character, but like, do you need help? Blink twice for yes. Or even just bark once for yes. Filling our number 3 slot is the lack of restraint. This one was shared by someone that worked as an overnight stock employee at Walmart. She shared that one night a guy came in drunk out of his mind, which I feel like is no surprise at Walmart. She was bent down filling a bottom shelf with green beans, and when she looked up, this guy was this close to her with his out. He then asked her if she would perform fellatio on him for $50. She didn't even dignify him with a response, she just ran to her manager, and when the manager finally tracked him down in the store, he was in nothing but his underwear, rubbing and pleasuring himself on a pair of women's underwear. Whose underwear was it? No clue. Either way, he was arrested shortly after. Why do people get harassed when they're at work? Like, that pisses me off to no extent. You cannot harass man or woman at work. I will fight you, legitimately. I'm not even worried about it. Now, at number 2 is El Paso. Back in August of last year, a mass shooting took place at a Walmart in El Paso, which killed 20 people and badly injured more than 24 others. The victims ranged from being 35 to 82 years old, and 9 of them were in critical condition at the hospital after the fact. The police managed to arrest a 21-year-old perpetrator who had apparently written a manifesto confessing the crime was racially motivated. Calls started coming to the police at 10 AM the day of, saying that's when the whole incident started. As shocking and sad as that is anyone really surprised? I feel like last year there was so many mass shootings in the US, I literally can't even count them on 2 hands, let alone every limb on my body. You heard it first. Actually, you didn't hear it first because it's everywhere. Listen. And finally, at number 1 is the treasure. So this one is really messed up and was shared by Reddit user Mike Michaels, who was a former employee. Mike shared that once a very dirty old homeless man came into the store and asked him to ring him up the cashier. While there, the man kept one hand inside his jacket and kept looking over his shoulder and just acting super shady and sus. Now, Mike didn't think much of it, but he was wary nonetheless and was just trying to scan the items as quickly as possible so the guy would leave. Then all of a sudden the guy looks him straight in the eye and asks, "Do you want to see my treasure?" with the creepiest smile on his face. Now, Mike's mind was racing. Did he have a gun in his jacket? Was it a bomb? An actual piece of treasure? The possibilities were endless and the risk was very high. Before even answering, the guy then slowly opened his jacket to reveal a newborn puppy, still slimy, barely even moving, still covered in blood with its umbilical cord very much attached. Like, what the f***? Mind my language, but what the f***? Like, did he find a dog that had given birth and just take a puppy? Like, what the f*** is this? I'm sorry. Beat me out as much as you need to. That's just not on. I hate it, and the puppy probably didn't survive because it needs its mum, right? Thank you, stupid homeless man.
Possessing our number 10 spot, we have a supermarket possession. Before I saw this video, the scariest thing that I thought can happen at a supermarket was inflation of prices, but then I came across this video. This clip is of a woman who is browsing a supermarket over in China. But suddenly she looks around and then her body becomes completely taken over by like a demonic spirit. Her head is thrown uncontrollably back and her body starts convulsing. People in the store approached her and try to help her out, but they become so scared, so all they can do is just watch from a distance and call the police. But maybe they should be calling the rain warden or maybe a priest to come perform some exorcism. I'm not sure what a police officer would do at this point. If I saw this woman possessed, like if I walk into a supermarket and I saw that, I would just turn around like it never happened and I would not shop there anymore.
In our 9th spot, we have Albert DeSalvo. Albert DeSalvo, better known as the Boston Strangler, took the lives of 13 women between 1962 and 1964. He would strangle these women with a piece of their clothing before taking advantage of them. In January of 1967, he was sentenced to life imprisonment. A month later, him and 2 other inmates actually managed to escape from prison, and a full-scale manhunt ensued. Thankfully, it wasn't long until he was recaptured. However, in 1973, Albert was stabbed to death by another prisoner. In our 8th spot, we have Ronnie McPeters. Now, Ronnie McPeters has actually been deemed too insane to execute. So Ronnie was first arrested after taking the life of a 27-year-old woman. The woman, Linda Marie Baltazar, was running errands when Ronnie came up to her window while panhandling. She shooed him away and he left, but he ended up coming back and shooting her. He was first placed in jail for his crime and then placed in the rubber room. But that didn't stop him because he was known to set fires in the jail and harass other inmates. So they moved him to San Quentin prison where he was awaiting death row. And that's when he started acting even crazier. Apparently he would attack other prisoners and guards, and was known to smear his feces all over his cell and even himself. This behavior got him off of death row. They literally thought that he was far too troubled to be executed. In our 7th spot, we have Mark Chopper Reed. Mark Reed is an Australian criminal who lived a life of crime. He was known to rip off drug dealers, as well as he would kidnap and torture members of the criminal underworld. It's believed that he was responsible for the death of 19 people and the attempted murder of 11 others. In fact, the movie Chopper is based off of his life, and it's a wild movie. The things he would do were insane. For example, he had a fellow inmate cut both of his ears off so that he could leave H Division and be transferred to a different wing. He also once played Russian roulette with himself. Who does that for fun? In our 6th spot today, we have Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer is one of the most famous serial killers in the world. People all around the world know of him and the sadistic and disturbing crimes that he committed. From 1978 to 1991, Jeffrey murdered and dismembered 17 male individuals. What he did afterwards was even more disturbing. He would keep some of the body parts as souvenirs, even take photographs of the deceased. When police searched his home, they found it littered with human remains. Dahmer was finally arrested on July 22nd of 1991. However, while in prison, there were multiple attempts on his life. On November 28, 1994, an inmate, Christopher Scarver, finally succeeded at taking Dahmer's life. His reasoning behind this? Well, apparently Dahmer was known to taunt others in prison. He would do this by making his prison food look like severed limbs to taunt the other people. He would even drizzle ketchup on top of his blood. Christopher and others found this very unnerving, so he decided to take action against him and beat him to death. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Jason Barnum, aka better known as Eyeball Man. And that's because he literally has a tattoo on his eyeball. Like, he tattooed it completely black. If that doesn't speak volumes about who he is, then I don't know what does. He also has one side of his face tattooed to look like a skull. So not only does this dude look like a scary prisoner, but he is one. This dude has a long list of crimes under his belt, including possession of heroin, first-degree attempted murder, first-degree burglary, and third-degree felony in possession of a weapon. In fact, he was sentenced to 22 years in jail after shooting a police officer. Moving on to number 4, we have Nico Jenkins. This guy is one of the scariest inmates in the world. Some say he's the craziest inmate in the world, and you're about to find out why. One time, he killed a man just because he stared at him the wrong way. Not only that, but in court, Jenkins was known to speak in some weird language. He said he used this language to communicate with an Egyptian serpent god, and this god was the one giving him orders to kill people. He also enjoyed talking about the people he killed and smiled the whole time while doing so. In the end, he was convicted for killing 4 individuals. Moving on to number 3, we have Damien Folks. In 2002, Damien Folks was sentenced to 12 years for a series of armed robberies that he had committed. But while in jail, he committed even more crimes. In 2010, he attempted to kill another prison inmate. He made a DIY shank by melting a razor blade onto plastic cutlery, and he used it to slice a guy's throat. As a result, he was transferred to a higher security prison. But that did not stop him. A year later, he killed an inmate by strangling him to death with strips of his bedding. These attacks gained him the title of being an extremely dangerous prisoner. In our 2nd spot today, we have Alexander Pikushkin. Alexander is a Russian serial killer who wanted to complete the number of squares on a chessboard by killing 64 people. It's said that he has killed around at least 49 individuals and possibly as many as 60. In fact, he was inspired by another serial killer, Andrei Chikatilo, who I have talked about before. In his mind, he wanted to compete with him and kill even more individuals than Andrei did. Now, what I find the weirdest is when Alexander was young, he was said to be such a kind and sociable child. That was until one day when he got struck in the head by a swing. From then on, his whole demeanor completely changed and he got really aggressive. So they think that this accident turned him into a serial killer. And in our number 1 spot today we have Pedro Rodrigues Filho, aka the Brazilian Maniac. This guy is a Brazilian serial killer who claims to have taken the lives of 100 individuals. He started killing at a young age, one of the first kills being his father. He apparently killed his father with a machete, cut out his heart, and then chewed on it. He also has been known to kill and torture a number of gang members. He did this all before he was 18. He was arrested on May 24th of 1973, during which he was placed in a car with another criminal who he killed for no reason. And while in prison, he went on to kill more people. It's said that he took the lives of 47 inmates in jail alone. Pedro served 42 years in prison before his release in 2018. Yes, he killed that many people and then he got released.